Ever since Jango was announced, I knew we were bound to see some very interesting decks with him as a leader. I'm Chris, and this is my budget-friendly take on Jango Red. The deck has 0 legendary cards, but a lot of tricks that will help you outmaneuver your opponents. Our main focus is the space arena. However, you don't want to give free reign over the ground arena to your opponents, so let's start off with the ground units of the deck. Since the deck contains 16 events, it's almost guaranteed that you will have at least one in hand at any given moment in order to use ISB Agent's ability. A 1 damage ping might not seem like much, but combined with Jango's ability, it remains very useful throughout the game. Since he costs just 1 resource, you can also use Pirated Starfighter to return him to your hand and replay him for another 1 damage ping, or just keep him in play and throw him against some big unit that needs exhausting when the time is right. Next one is Bazin. Since your opponent gets to draw a card if you make them discard one from their hand, this one's a bit risky, but it can certainly hinder your opponent if, for example, you discard their only first round drop or a card that is vital for their play. You can also just use her for intel, looking at your opponent's hand and discarding nothing. Now, this one's ability is a bit situational, so you could swap looks for some other cheap unit like Crafty Smuggler, but against decks with exploit or other means to reduce the cost of cards, he's extremely useful. His stats are also pretty decent for a 2-cost unit. I always liked Fifth Brother, and I think that in a Jango deck he can be very useful since you can attack your opponent's base, ping an enemy unit and exhaust it thanks to Jango at the same time. Nothing really crazy here, but your opponent will probably have to deal with him, drawing their attention away from the space arena, which should be your primary focus. Ambush is always great, but Bosk is here mainly because of his ability. With 16 events, there's a lot of damage he can deal utilizing it, and this damage can also trigger Jango's ability, exhausting the damaged unit. Some alternatives for him are Heavy, IG-11, and I've also tried Kit Fisto for a bit, but I think Bosk is the best option out of those. Moving on to the space units. The Spacer is a 2-cost drop that can exhaust another unit that costs 4 or less if you control another cunning unit. Sometimes you'll have to play it as your first round unit, so its ability will not be utilized every time, but it has decent enough stats to still be quite worth playing. Now things start getting interesting. This one is a terrible first round drop, since its when played ability requires you to return a friendly non-leader unit to its owner's hand, meaning that if there's no other unit on the board, you actually have to return itself. However, its stats are amazing for the cost and, most importantly, its ability synergizes perfectly with units like ISB, Bazin, Elite P38 and so on. I'll admit this one's a bit hit or miss. In a lot of games there will be at least one annoying upgrade that you would like to see defeated, and that's why I've added it. You can safely replace this with Punishing One, which has better stats. To be honest, I swap between those two a lot, but can't really decide which one works the best for me. Elite P38 Starfighter is one of the most game-style defining cards in this deck. It's the best second round drop you can get because it has decent stats, and its when played ability is great for slowing down your opponent by dealing damage and exhausting their early unit drops. Moreover, its ability also triggers when defeated, which will make your opponents think twice before getting rid of it. Pair P38 with Pirated Starfighter and you can do some very annoying things. Now this doesn't need an introduction. I still think it's one of the best low-cost space units out there. Great stats for its cost, and its ability makes it very hard to defeat. Given that this is a space-focused deck, you can protect the Phantom pretty easily, giving your opponents a very hard time stopping it from attacking their base. The shielded keyword of 7th Fleet Defender is the reason it's in the deck. Combine this with Surprise Strike or Swoop Down to maintain space superiority or strafe the ground arena respectively without taking any damage. You can't have a Fett deck without Fett's Fire Spray, right? While most of the units so far will help you gain and maintain space arena superiority, this one will a lot of times be the unit that delivers the final blow to your opponent's base. Its stats are great, it readies itself when it comes into play, and it also has an oftenly overlooked ability that can further help you keep your opponent's units under control. Ruthless Raider, along with P-38, is probably the most important unit of the deck. Its when played / when defeated ability will help you bring down low HP enemies or reduce the HP of high HP targets while at the same time exhausting them due to Jango's ability and dealing damage to your opponent's base. Combined with Surprise Strike or Swoop Down, it can deal with most of the things your opponents will try to throw at you. If you triple Dark Raid this at turn 3, your opponent will be in a very tight spot. Now this deck would be pretty much useless without the following events. Nothing better than trading up with your units, right? Well, how about defeating your opponent's units without losing yours? This is what Shoot First is here for. You can use this with pretty much every unit of the deck to buff it up just that tiny bit that's missing from defeating a bigger target without getting hit back. It costs just one resource, it triggers Bosk's ability, and it can also be shown to your opponent in order to ping with ISB agents when played ability. It's a win-win-win card. Since the deck is mainly space focused, you do need something to help you thin down your opponent's ground units. Swoop Down does exactly that, allowing your space units to attack the ground arena, buffing them up and reducing the damage they get from the defender. One more important thing is that even if you don't attack a ground unit, you still get Saboteur, which can come pretty handy if you are up against shielded or sentinel space units. Sometimes you need to get rid of a high HP unit and you just don't have a unit with high enough power. Force Choke is risky because your opponent gets to draw a card, so I try to think of it as a last resort. No Good to Me Dead is one of those cards that will certainly annoy your opponent and give you some room to breathe. Use it either on your opponent's leader unit or a unit that gives you trouble and you won't have to worry about them for at least one round. Surprise Strike is a great way to either trade up with your units or just boost the damage you deal to your opponent's base. Not much more to say about it. Finally, Triple Dark Raid is one of those cards that can turn the tides of a game. The best way to utilize it in this deck is to play it on turn 3, paying for its cost and having one resource left to pay the remaining one cost for either a Ruthless Raider or a Fire Spray. Even if you don't get one of those, P-38 is also a great pick. Worst case, just pick a 7th Fleet Defender or a Lurking TIE Phantom, which cost 3 resources each, so you don't actually overpay. In any case, the selected unit comes into play ready, so you can use it to deal some surprise damage to your opponent's base or to one of their units. Moreover, at the end of the phase, the unit returns to your hand, so you'll have the option to play it fresh in a future round. Make sure to keep track of what cards went to the bottom of your deck due to uses of Triple Dark. I would describe this as a reactive deck. You mainly wait for your opponent to make a move and you react to it, either by defeating their units or, if that's not an option, dealing some damage and exhausting them. Your aim should be to gain and maintain control of the space arena, while at the same time keeping your opponent's forces on both arenas in check using pings and Jango's ability. Doing that, you create openings for your space units to damage their base. It might sound a bit slow in theory, but believe me, it is not. P-38s and Ruthless Raiders, when played / when defeated abilities, leave your opponent little room to breathe, since even if they defeat them the round they come into play, you still get to deal some damage and possibly exhaust a unit. Events like Shoot First, Surprise Strike and Swoop Down are great for trading up with your units, and you should not hesitate to use them. In my experience, the deck is pretty consistent and you don't really rely on specific cards to win. Sure, not getting to play single Fire Spray or Ruthless Raider in a game, even through Triple Dark Raid, hurts, but you still have a lot of options. Yes, it can happen more than once. Before we move on to some gameplay, show your support for the channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. It will be much appreciated. At the time of recording this, the only way to play with cards of the third set is through forcetable, so sadly I can't include gameplay against real players. I just picked two of the hot decks on SWODB to play against without really looking at their card list, just to make it a bit interesting. AI on forcetable is not the best, so these two matches are included just to demonstrate the flow of the deck. I'm not going to try too hard, so some card plays might not be optimal. Okay, I'm up against Palpatine. I've got my first round drop, second round drop, and a triple dark raid. I guess it's a pretty good hand, so I'll keep it. I'll resource Fifth Brother and disabling Fang Fighter. I don't expect Palpatine Green to have a lot of upgrades, so I hope I won't need it. Okay. I'll actually pass. Okay, there we go. I'll play ISB. Reveal triple dark, deal 1 damage and get rid of that. I'll pass. There we go. I don't think I'll be needing No Good to Me Dead anytime soon. Alright. Let's just ping this a bit. I'll actually use Tarkintown to get rid of this. Oh, somehow I didn't see that +1, my bad. I'll pass. I think I'll resource, swoop down. No, shoot first, shoot first. Now I could attack it with ISB or play triple dark and hope for something that I can ping. Let's just go with triple dark. Okay, there we go. Ruthless Raider. Bye. I'll just attack base. Alright, this is getting interesting. I'll just attack this with ISB. And pass. I'll resource 7th or Ruthless Raider. Okay, fair enough. I'll swoop down with my P-38. Okay. I'll deploy Jango. Oh, another one. Let's get rid of that Sentinel. I'll play ISB Agent, so No Good to Me Dead. Ping this one. Now if I get a P-38 I can get rid of this next round. Let's play 7th Fleet and pass. I think that Lux is not really needed here. Oh, nice. Exhaust this one. I'll also play a Cartel Spacer and exhaust Poggle. Attack base. I'll keep Surprise Strike in hand for a bit, you never know when you'll need it. And I'll pass. Command, not bad. Command, it says. I'll sacrifice ISB to exhaust this one. Oh, okay. Attack base for 2. Play Phantom. Now should I pass or... I'll just kill this off. Don't want it getting buffed up. Nice, Fire Spray. Bazin is the only card I don't really have a use for. Okay, down goes Jango. I'll attack for 4. Another command. Let's play Fire Spray. And Surprise Strike. Okay, I guess this is it. This time I'm up against Anakin Blue. This is probably going to be a tough matchup. I got my first round drop and a second round drop. It's not a bad hand, but I have no events in order to use ISB Agent's ability, but I think I'll try and play with this. I'm going to resource Fire Spray and Fifth Brother. Alright, I'll play Lux and I'll claim. Okay. I want to keep Starfighter because it pairs nicely with ISB Agent. Okay, got hit for 3. I'll also deal 3 damage to my opponent's base. Since this is shielded, I'll play ISB Agent, revealing shoot first. And shield is gone. I'll also play Starfighter and return ISB Agent to my hand. Second shoot first is not really needed. Oh, Daring Raid. Fair enough. I'll play ISB Agent again. Also no good to me dead, and damage and exhaust this one. Oh, okay. So I'll swoop down and it's gone. I'll actually tarkintown this just to clear the board. Now I doubt I'll need disabling Fang Fighter against this deck, so I'll resource it. Alright, take down. Let's just attack base. I'll deploy. Attack. And I'll play triple dark raid. Okay. And attack again. Cartel Spacer won't be of much use, I think. Alright. Perilous position, not bad. I'll attack base. Okay, there we go. Time to play No Go To Me Dead. And I'll also do a bit of damage here. I don't feel like playing Bazin right now. Okay. Now this one's a 7, so if I swoop down, I'll deal 5 damage to it. So let's play Ruthless Raider. Two damage there. Another takedown, nice. Time to swoop down and defeat Anakin. And let's deal 1 damage to Yoda. I'll just claim. I think I'll keep all these. There's not much I can do, I guess. I don't want Yoda to restore. Actually, no. I'll just attack base and see what happens. Okay. I'll take initiative again. Nice, fire spray. I'll resource this. I'll shoot first at his Razor Crest. Attack base. Play fire spray. Force throw, okay. Attack base again. Pass. And this is pretty much it. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.